Think for yourself. Question authority.
Wake up, Bayonetta. Wake up. It's time to talk about Bayonetta 3 on this channel for the first time since 2018. It's been quite a while. So what's up, everybody? Welcome back. And we're going to go in depth about Bayonetta 3 on this video because there is some information that was found and some more information that I looked into for an update on Bayonetta 3. And it's not just what Kamiya said about the game being all well and good in development right now. There's more to it than that I've discovered, and we're going to discuss it in this video and whether or not this is good news, bad news, or simply we just don't know yet what this means for the game going forward according to this information. So first of all, Bayonetta 3 was announced in December of 2017, over 2 years ago at the Game Awards for the Nintendo Switch as a Nintendo Switch exclusive. And Nintendo showed a CG trailer with no gameplay and basically no nothing, just a really short, really quick CG trailer. But really we haven't heard anything about the game much more than just a couple updates in 2018 and in 2019 from Hideki Kamiya, saying basically the exact same thing every single time, that hey, development's going well, hey, development's going really well, oh, everything's going fine, the game is progressing really nicely. Same exact phrases, different times of the years in 2018 and 2019, saying the exact same thing. However, the key thing that has been missing from Bayonetta 3 is absolutely any type of gameplay or even one screenshot to be seen of this game at all. Not even concept art has been seen that I know of. I haven't seen any concept art of this game. I haven't seen absolutely anything regarding Bayonetta 3 even being in existence, besides Hideki Kamiya's own words that the game is in development and it's doing just fine. And I discussed this last year in 2018 briefly about Bayonetta 3, is that if we didn't see anything about this game by the end of 2019, then we might have some cause for concern about whether or not this game is coming out anytime soon. So it would be a disservice to you guys if I didn't do this video, because much like Metroid Prime 4 when it was announced at E3 2017, we never saw any media, never saw any footage, gameplay, anything of that game. And then Nintendo went in January of 2019 announcing the game basically was canceled and they had to restart development from scratch all over again. And we also heard from even Reggie at the time, I believe in E3 2018, he said in an interview that Metroid Prime 4 was doing fine in development, everything was okay. And then of course, boom, it wasn't okay. So it should go without saying that the guys in charge of these companies, these developers, they're going to say whatever they need to say to make sure that nothing looks bad on the outside for these games. But when you don't show any gameplay or any footage or any art or anything like that for a game that has been announced over 2 years ago, then there is some cause for concern for fans, I would say. Now, this isn't to say the game is not coming or has been canceled or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all in this video. I want to make that clear. But we do need to go over what has happened with this game to see whether or not the game will actually be coming in 2020 or if it's even farther out than that. And we have some new information discovered that could give us a hint on whether or not it could be coming next year or even later. Now, in regards to Bayonetta 3's announcement in 2017 for the Switch as a Switch exclusive, since that time, we've had announcements from Platinum Games of other games, and they've showed gameplay of those games before they showed anything about Bayonetta 3. And a couple examples of these games are, first of all, Babylon's Fall, which they announced at E3 2018 with a CG trailer, and they didn't show gameplay, but then later on in early 2019 at that Nintendo Direct, they did announce Astral Chain was coming to the Nintendo Switch as an exclusive, and this game took everyone off guard and was a big surprise, and an excellent game for what it turned out to be for the Nintendo Switch as a big exclusive. But the key thing about Astral Chain is that nobody knew about that game at all in 2019. All of a sudden it was announced, and then boom, released in the same year, and everything was said and done in 2019. And then also, we get an update for Babylon's Fall from Platinum Games. At PlayStation State of Play in December of this year, they showed first gameplay of Babylon's Fall, and wouldn't you know it, it looks very similar in some respects to Astral Chain. You can definitely see that it's a Platinum Games game that's being developed by them that's coming out in the not too distant future, and that game doesn't even have a release date, yet they're showing gameplay footage of that game already, and we still again haven't seen anything from Bayonetta 3. So it does make you think a little bit there as well. And then on top of that, Platinum Games announced earlier in 2019, I believe in May, that they are working on a secret project that is unlike anything done before. So obviously this is not Bayonetta 3 either. So Platinum Games is working on quite a bit of projects And a lot of these things they're talking about has nothing to do with Bayonetta 3. And in conjunction with that, all we have to go by for even if Bayonetta 3 exists at all is the word of Hideki Kamiya saying that the game is going along just fine in development, and of course the actual announcement itself over 2 years ago at the Game Awards that the game is coming at some point to the Nintendo Switch. So people aren't dumb, obviously. Actions speak louder than words. So as far as the actions are concerned of Platinum Games, their actions are saying a lot as far as what they're doing in game development. And they're not the biggest studio in the world either, but they're currently making a secret project that has not been announced, that they're really passionate about, it looks like, and they're currently also in deep development of Babylon's Fall, and they just finished Astral Chain that was released earlier in 2019. So where does Bayonetta 3 fit into all this? And do all these other projects have anything to do with the fact that we haven't seen any footage at all, or any media at all, screenshots, what have you, of Bayonetta 3 released to the public? So all this investigating that I did led me to investigate another aspect, and that is the voice actor herself, Helena Taylor, who does the voiceover work for Bayonetta, also known as Cereza, the character name of Bayonetta in the game. So I checked her Twitter account, and her Twitter account has basically been silent since October of 2019. But in September of 2019, there was a significant update that actually I don't think anybody noticed, and that was the fact that she confirmed that she has still not yet even started work on doing any voiceovers for Bayonetta 3. One Twitter user asked her if she started recording any voiceover work for Bayonetta 3, and her response was no. And as Helena Taylor has talked about in other interviews in the past, is that normally she signs an NDA, and when she starts doing voiceover work, then she's not allowed to confirm or deny that she's working on voiceover work for a game like Bayonetta, for example. But if she has not signed an NDA, then she's able to comment on whether or not she is recording voiceover work. So that tells you right there, as of September 2019, she has not even started voiceover work for this game at all. And we talked about this in 2018 as well. She had not done any voiceover work then either. And that was kind of understandable because the game had just been announced. But now it's been over 2 years, and she still hasn't even been contacted to do voiceover work yet for this game, for any demos or anything like that. So, however, we do know that usually voiceover work is done at the very end of a project, not at the beginning. So if she were to do voiceover work, it would hopefully be very soon. Her Twitter account has been silent for the past 2 months, so she could be actually working on voiceover work right now. There's obviously no way for us to tell that. I'm just speculating and hoping that maybe she is working on voiceover work for Bayonetta 3 because she's been completely quiet since that time. So even if that is the case, there is another thing that needs to be brought out about this. Bayonetta 2 was originally announced for the Wii U in September of 2012 at the Wii U's launch event that they had 2 months before the system was released. So they announced Bayonetta 2 with a similar type of CG trailer, just showing her boots and the gun bullets and what have you. And then in 2013, less than a year later at E3, they had a full gameplay trailer, and they did have voiceover work from Bayonetta in that trailer, in that gameplay that they showed. Here's a brief look at that trailer.
No one said you could touch.
So there you can see that her voice work was actually there, even though it was probably limited at the time. Her voiceovers were there, and some of the things that she said in the final game actually were still there in that E3 trailer of June 2013. And then from that time forward, Bayonetta 2 wasn't released until October 2014, over a year and 3 months after that E3 2013 trailer. So from the time of announcement of Bayonetta 2 to release, there was 2 years and 1 month of time that went by. So when you compare that to what's going on with Bayonetta 3, there is a huge difference in what has gone on here. So we have the announcement of Bayonetta 3 in December 2017, and then nothing in 2 years since they announced it. And then you combine that with what Platinum Games has been doing publicly with their games, releasing Astral Chain, working extensively on Babylon's Fall, and this new IP that is not Bayonetta 3 that they're so passionate about, and then these very vague, really short little statements about Bayonetta 3, yeah, it's doing fine, but there's nothing to show for it. There should be some concern for fans as to what's going on with this game and whether or not we're going to be seeing anything about it anytime soon in 2020, or if it's something that Platinum Games simply is not prioritizing right now and just pushing their other projects over it. So you have to think that Nintendo themselves might be talking to Platinum Games about this and saying, hey, you know, what's going on here? Where's Bayonetta 3 for our system that we announced 2 years ago? I personally don't know, because there's no information hardly to go on at all, except that a lot of these things simply aren't taking place in a similar type of fashion to what a normal game development would look like, especially in comparison to what they did previously with Bayonetta 2. And I'm well aware that other games have had similar very long delays in development, like for example Final Fantasy 15, Kingdom Hearts 3, those games took absolutely forever, 5-7 years, whatever to make, but those were like the exception, not the rule. And you're dealing with Square Enix, the kings of delaying games. So Platinum Games, they just proven themselves that they can work on multiple games at a time. So seemingly, just from what I could see here and gather, the priority doesn't appear to be Bayonetta 3 at this time. But like I said, I hope beyond hope that that isn't the case. I do hope that the game is well in development, and I do hope that it does come out next year or soon after that, and I hope we do see the game very soon. Just right now, we're not seeing any indication that the game even exists. So hopefully we see soon that the game does in fact exist, and hopefully we see some type of gameplay, something to give us hope and excitement to look forward to this game coming out soon. Bayonetta already has a well-established gameplay, and the type of fast-paced action, level-based gameplay that it has, the game honestly shouldn't take that long to make, and especially it shouldn't take that long for them to even show footage of the game. So I'm just putting this out there for you guys to think about, just in case something does happen with this game in development. At least we could put some of these things together and not be so surprised if that is the case that happens. But like I said, hopefully everything is fine, and hopefully they do announce it next year, and hopefully it comes out next year. And they've just been keeping it secret this entire time, who knows. Alright guys, so this will most likely be my last video of 2019. Thank you all so much for your support. We hit over 10 million views on the channel, and we will continue having a great time in 2020, and there's lots of great things to look forward to. We already had 3 big reports, one from Nikkei, 2 from the Wall Street Journal in 2019, of a new, more powerful Switch coming. So I do expect this to come to fruition in 2020, and that we'll have this new system to talk about Nintendo's been working on, and we'll be going all in on that one. So look forward to that in 2020. And again, if you enjoyed this video guys, please hit the like button, subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you very soon in the next video. Have a great day.